In this video, I'm going to talk about the split modify command in Autodesk Inventor. So I currently have open a 2D sketch and I'm on my sketch tab. And if we come across the ribbon here to our modify panel, which my mouse is circling around, the split modify command is right in the middle at the bottom here. So I'm going to activate the split command, and you'll notice we get a little addition symbol or a little plus button beside our mouse. And if we take a look at the bottom left-hand corner, our command prompt is saying select curve to split. So what the split button does is it takes one solid piece of your sketch, which might be an arc, a circle, a line, a slot, a rectangle, etc., and it will split it at a point of intersection to make it into two or more pieces. So for example, let's take a look here at the two lines I have drawn on the left. So in order for the split button to work, you have to have an intersection between two pieces. And right here we can see my intersection is where this little red X pops up. So now when I hover over my lines, I can either hover over my horizontal line here. You'll notice my horizontal line turns green and I get a little red X where those two lines intersect. What that means is if I left click right now, my horizontal line will be split at that point. However, the angled line will stay one solid line. So right now, if I just hit escape on my keyboard, if I was to left click on my horizontal line, doesn't matter where, I'm able to select the whole thing because it's one continuous curve right now. If I select my split function and I come down, I hover over my two lines, I decide, okay, it's the horizontal line that I want to split. So I'm going to select by left clicking on my horizontal line. You'll notice that we get a little coincident constraint popping up there because the two parts of my line are now connected at that point. If I hit escape on my keyboard to close the split command, now when I go to select my horizontal line, notice that the two pieces of the line are now separate. They've been split at that point. So it works the same way with circles and arcs and slots as well. So curved pieces of geometry is what I'm trying to say there. So I'm going to open up my split command. And this time I'm going to split my circle. And notice because it's being intersected by one continuous line here, when I hover over my circle, it's actually going to split at both the top quadrant and the bottom quadrant here simultaneously. However, if I was trying to split the line, notice depending on which side of the line my mouse is closest to, that's the side of the line that will split. The other side of the line will not be affected. So I'm going to split my circle. I'm going to left click on my circle. I get two coincident constraints here. So that circle is now that circle is connected at the top quadrant and the bottom quadrant. I'm going to hit escape on my keyboard to close my split command. And now when I go to left click on either half of my circle here, I'm able to select an arc that's no longer connected to the other arc. And the line itself is not affected here. So the line, because I chose not to split the line is still one continuous curve that I can select all at once just by left clicking on it. It's the same for this little angled line over here. Because I did not split this angled line, it's still one continuous curve. So that's how the split modify command works in Inventor. The split command is very handy if you want to separate two pieces of geometry and yet not delete them. So it works different from the trim command because the trim command will actually remove one of the pieces of geometry, whereas the split leaves both of them in your sketch with the dimensions and constraints you have on them. It just splits them to add so that they're two separate pieces and they have a coincident constraint where they meet.